Welcome back to another installment of Pure J Tomasi's Detective Comics. Now, this is the final issue of his entire run. This is issue number 1033. And what we're seeing is Damian Wayne has been away from the Bat family for a long time, right? But last issue, Batman finally went to him. They actually fought a little bit, but then they reunited. Batman and Robin are back together for a short period. The only reason Damian is back with his father is because the Bat family are in trouble. Nightwing, Red Hood, Cassandra Cain, Barbara Gordon, Duke Thomas, all these different Bat family members have been kidnapped by Hush, the villain. And Hush's actual real identity is Tommy Elliott, which is an old friend of Bruce, right? Batman. So they were friends, but then they became enemies. And now Hush is trying to do something really bad to get under Batman's skin, right? By hurting his Bat family. So the only people who can save this, so the only people who can save the day is Batman and Robin. And we're gonna see how this ends. So the only people who can save the Bat family is Batman and Robin, father and son. And we're going to see how this issue ends. This is the final issue of Pure J Tomasi's run. And in my opinion, this run has been awesome. And this final issue is pretty great, right? There's some emotional moments and a lot of action. So if you guys are ready, let's dive into this issue. Batman and Robin back together, teaming up. Batman narrates, "We're in the air. Father and son, together again. Our trials and tribulations, nature versus nurture, our battles, ethics and morals, life and death, going to the ends of the earth and beyond for my boy. All now in the rear view mirror as I enjoy this moment. Then it hits me. Family, the center of all things in my life, by blood or adoption, mentoring or friendship. Every important moment that's rippled through my life has all started and ended with my family. Even the ones we're about to save, no matter how many times Damian and I have argued or walked away from each other. There's no getting around the simple fact that when we take down criminals, Batman and Robin just has a certain ring to it, and always will." Now you see, Batman and Robin, they crash into Hush's hideouts where he has the Bat family. You are smashed as they come through the window. Now, that's when they land on this ledge, and Batman says, "Stand down, Hush," and Hush says, "Your detective skills continue to amaze me, Bruce." Now you start shooting at Batman and Robin. You are zap-a-zap. Now, Hush says, "I was going to destroy you with 1,000 cuts by taking your family piece by piece. But maybe killing you today with all of them around you is better. Glad to see you brought your youngest." Now you keep shooting, you're at pock as they keep hitting the walls behind Batman and Robin. Now Hush continues, "I didn't have any luck spotting your son in the riots. Murdering him in front of you will let me tie a bow on this." Now guys, you don't remember, Hush actually kidnapped the Bat family during the riots with the mirror and all the protesters in Gotham. Now, that's when Damian says to his father, "You hit him low, I'll hit him high." And Batman says, "No, the others down there need us." Now, Hush keeps shooting. He says, "You can't hide from me, Batman. I'll blow that balcony apart." Now, Batman covers with the bullets with his cape as he charges toward Hush, as Damian goes to save his family members. Now, that's when Batman punches Hush in the face. "You're a frack." And Batman says, "Damn you, Tommy. You know what's been taken from me and you dare threaten my family? My family?" Now, Hush falls to the ground. Now we see Damian. He makes it to Nightwing. He says, "Nightwing, your pulse is strong. Can you hear me?" Nightwing starts to get up, but that's when Damian says, "We're here. Everything's going to be okay. I promise." Now we see Hush. He punches Batman in the face. "You're a whack." Now, Hush says, "What the hell makes you think I care about your family when I didn't even care about my own?" Now Batman falls back. Now we see Damian. He goes to Duke Thomas. He says, "I'm gonna get you all out of here. Hold still while I disconnect these IVs." Now we see Hush. He goes to punch Batman, but Batman dodges. Hush says, "While your parents' deaths paid a road of gold, mine found ways to keep me off it for as long as they could. My mother didn't have the common courtesy to die when I cut her brake lines." Now we see Damian. He grabs these different scalps. We see Hush. He puts his hand on Batman's mouth. He's gonna put him asleep. Now Hush shouts, "Living like some vegetable, year after year." But that's when Damien throws his scalps at the back of Hush. Now Hush says, "Just to spite me." Now that's when we see Hush. He screams as his scalps that Damien threw hit him in the back. Now it gives Batman enough time to get his stuff together, right? Because he was losing. Now Hush says, "Your brat's a bit more brutal than the other apples." Now Batman says, "Personally, I'd go with fierce." Now Damien comes up to Hush. He goes to throw more scalps, but that's when Damien says, "And here I thought the pinhead look worked, when the porcupine was the better one all along." Now Hush says, "I'm gonna take each of these scalps but that's when Damien punches Hush in the face. You're a wreck. And Damien says, "You'll do nothing, freak." Guess what, Elliot? I found out about your half-sister and your sick plot to murder my father when he was a boy. I convinced her to turn herself in, and after I rearrange your face, you're going to need even more bandages before you turn yourself in too." Now, that's when Batman, he gets his stuff together, but he throws batarangs at the back of Damien's hood. He stops Damien for a second, and Batman charges at Hush. He says, "Thanks for the breather, Robin, but I'm sure you can understand. This is personal." Now, he charges at Hush, and they fall off this balcony. Now, you hear a scratch as they land on the ground. Now, the Bat family are still asleep. Batman goes toward Hush. He says, "I'd like to believe my best friend wasn't trying to kill me when we were kids, but I guess I can't." Now Hush smiles and says, Now, Bruce, you know if you had this coming, Gotham may have turned on you. You're kind these days, but the pain you caused me runs even deeper." Now he grits his teeth and says, "I was so happy when I heard your father was shot in the alley, but when I learned your mother was also killed, it pissed me off. Now my buddy Bruce would control the entire Wayne fortune, and thanks to your dad for keeping my mother alive, the Elliot fortune would be kept out of my hands for years. So, with your fortune now recently compromised, I felt destroying anything you cared about would be a nice bow around your neck. But, what's that old saying? The chickens have come home to roost." Now, Batman takes off his cape. He gets ready to fight. Now, Batman then goes to punch Hush. They have this different fights. Hush gives Batman a headlock, but then Batman gets out and punches his friend, his old friend, now enemy, in the face. Then Batman punches him again, and Batman narrates, "Two families, two friends, two tragedies, two young lives and many more destroyed. Two lifelong enemies. Too late to change a damn thing." Now, Batman uses a right hook. He punches Hush in the face, gives the knockout blow. Hush falls to the ground. Done. Defeated. Now, that's when Batman puts his fist back, and you hear claps in the background. Damien's clapping for his father, showing some appreciation. Now, Damien says, "Well done, father. Well done." Batman says, "How are the others? All safe?" And Damien says, "Fine," and slowly coming out of the chloroform haze. Now, that's when Damien says, "That was a well-delivered right hook." Batman says, "Hush won't be conscious anytime soon." Damien says, "Tied up with his own bandages. How perfectly ironic." Now, Batman says, "I'd like to finish our conversation," but Batman looks back and his son is gone. Now, Batman goes up to the rooftop. He sees that Damien is leaving. Batman goes behind him. He says, "Where are you off to, son?" And Damien says, "I've solved the first case in your black casebook, and one day, when you're gone, in your memory, I'll solve the last one." And Batman says, "Still a lot to talk about." And Damien takes off his mask. And you see in the background, the city of Gotham is just blurry. We're focused on these two characters, father and son. Damien says, "Everything's been said that needs to be said, father." Batman says, "Has it really?" And Damien says, "As I've told you before, you cast a giant shadow." Now you see Batman go toward Damien. And you see a shadow pretty much cast around these two characters. It's a really good visual, and the art here looks amazing. And Batman says, "The size of the shadow doesn't mean anything unless you let it, Damien. It's about the person you are inside, this husk of flesh and bones. I thought you understand that by now, after everything we've been through together." Now, Damien then says, "See, I thought you'd understand me by now. After everything we've been through, I have never been as patient as you. Our formative years, as you well know, Father, were quite different. Our dies cast by the fates of the families we were born into. I tried following your path, Father. I thought I could perfect it. I was wrong. I've been wrong about so much. And losing Alfred?" Now, Batman says, "Alfred was a soldier, the very best. I hope you realize I don't blame you for his death, Damien." Now, Damien says, "I know you don't, but I do blame myself, and nothing you say or do will ever change my mind. It's something I will have to live with." Now, Batman then puts out the Robin symbol. Batman says, "This is yours, son." And Robin declines. He says, "No, Father, it's yours." And Damien leaves his father, and Batman is confused. He doesn't know what to take from this conversation. Now we shift and we see that they're about to announce the new mayor of Gotham City on the news, and we see Nakano with his wife, and his wife is smiling. Now Nakano looks, and then turns out that Christopher Nakano, the former police officer, is now the mayor of Gotham City. Now his wife is very happy. She says, "You did. You won." Now Nakano looks. He goes outside, and all these Gotham citizens say, "Nakano now! Nakano now! Nakano now!" Now Nakano speaks out loud. He says, "It's been an amazing campaign culminating in this wonderful night, and I have you and all your hard work and support to thank for it. A new day dawns in Gotham if we all work together." Now Nakano starts to leave, and all these news reporters go up to him. They ask him, "What's next, Mayor Nakano? How do you officially plan on dealing with vigilantes?" Now, that's when Nakano gets in the car with his wife, and another news reporter says, "What will be your first mayor proclamation? Will it deal with vigilantes?" And that's when his wife smiles and says, "Can you believe this, Chris? You wanted it, and you made it happen." Now, Nakano says, "What do I do now, though? What do I do now?" And the car drives off as all these Gotham citizens shout his name, Nakano. Now it's when we shift to Wayne Manor. Batman has arrived, and he says, "Hi, guys." And we see Bat-Hound, all the pets in the Batcave. Now, Batman takes off his cape and cowl, and he goes and takes a shower. He then puts on a new suit, a more casual suit, and he walks around, starts taking everything that's important. And he says to his pets, "Time to finish packing, boys. Who's hungry?" Now, he gets the picture of him and Alfred when Bruce was graduating, and he puts it away. Now, he starts to walk out with his pets and all his very important belongings. Now he shuts the door to Wayne Manor. He puts away the rock with the key in it. Now he goes to the gravestone of Alfred, and he starts walking toward the car. Now he goes to Batcow, and Batcow moves, and Bruce says, "Don't worry, we weren't leaving without you." Now Bruce gets inside his car with all his pets with him and all his very important belongings, and he says, "Alright, everyone say goodbye. Time to hit the road and make new memories." So Bruce leaves the Wayne Manor behind, leaves the memories of Alfred behind, and goes on a new journey. This story will continue in the new year, in 2021. But next, we have Future States. So that was the conclusion to Pure J Tomasi's Detective Comics run. It was a really strong finish, alright? First off, the artwork by Brad Walker and Andrew Hennessy is amazing throughout. Like I see fight scenes, like the one fight scene between Batman and Hush toward the end, where Batman takes off his cape and they have like a fist fight. It is done very well, it's very entertaining, and you see like the memories of these former friends turned enemies, and it's really cool. I also really like the splash image when Batman just right hooks to Hush and takes him out, gives the knockout blow. It was a dope image. I was a big fan of it. I really liked it. It really brought that moment home and made it feel very impactful, right? Now, Hush throughout this issue, he was just trying to kill Batman, Damian, the Bat family. He was just more there as a villain, right? He wasn't really developed as much, but I still liked him being there. I liked his depiction in this issue. His certain lines about how he doesn't really like Batman because, like Bruce, his friend, right? Who got the Wayne fortune, but then Hush didn't. It shows that Hush is not as level-headed as Bruce, and his life is way more messed up. Yeah, it's great, alright? I really like that depiction. Also, the Damian and Bruce relationship, father and son. I really like that in this issue. And guys, if you remember, there's a Batman and Robin series in the New 52 by Pure J. Tomasi, the same writer, and he did a great job with that series. That was actually one of my favorite series in New 52. And it shows here that Pure J. Tomasi still got it. He still knows this relationship and this bond between father and son. And it especially shows at the beginning of this issue with the very first page where you see Batman and Damian. They're going through the air. And Batman is narrating about all the trials and tribulations they've been through, how much they've been through, and how family is very important. And I really love that. That was great. And the ending, guys, the final scene between Batman and Robin, where they talk about Alfred, and Batman tries to give the Robin symbol back to his son, but Damian pretty much declines and then leaves. It was a very impactful and emotional scene, and what made it better was the artwork with how, like, Gotham City behind was just blurry. And also the facial expressions with Damian and Bruce were very strong. You knew what these characters were thinking when they're talking. And that's really hard to pull off. Like, that's what artists are supposed to do, but it's just done so well here. And I really like the effect of, like, the blurriness in the background, because it puts more spotlight on the character that's talking. Now, shifting to the ending, you see Nakano, he's now mayor, and that was fine. There wasn't that much development there. Like, I really like Nakano in this whole storyline, but that's all you had to really do in this final issue, just show that he's gonna be mayor, because he's actually gonna be in the upcoming run of Mariko Tamaki. And speaking of Mariko Tamaki, she's gonna be the new writer on Detective Comics after a future state, and Nakano will carry over, right? So he'll be a very important character at the beginning of her run, and that's good. So I really like Nakano. Pure J. Tomasi wrote him very well in this whole storyline. Gave him a great introduction, and I'm excited to see where his character goes. Now, one plot hole in the storyline is what happened to the mayor. He was leading all these protests and doing all these things, and he was in that riot, but then he just disappeared. Like that. Hush became the big villain instead of him. And the mayor was kinda interesting, but not enough that I wanted him back. So he's in a sticky situation now that's like, should they bring it back or not, right? If they bring it back, make it more interesting, but if they don't, then it makes it a plot hole in this final issue, right? Now, at the very end of this issue, we see Batman, he goes back to Wayne Manor. Bruce then drives off with all his pets, which I really like that touch, that was cool. Seeing Bat Hound and Bat Cow, that was really great. I like the nostalgia there, and it was just nice, alright? It gave like a really nice feeling. And the ending where Bruce is at Alfred's grave and he just drives off to go on new journeys and make new memories. It's a great ending and brings a lot of closure to this entire run. So I really liked how Pure J. Tomasi wrapped this all up. Yes, there's a couple plot holes here and there, but I feel like all the emotional impact and all the action in this issue just gave it a good finish. And that wasn't just because Pure J. Tomasi, the artists, were at their A game. That's why I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10. I definitely recommend it, especially if you've been following this series, this whole run of Pure J. Tomasi on Detective Comics, because he's done a great job this entire run. It sucks that he's been cut short. Like Mariko Tamaki, we'll see what she does. I'm not as excited for her run, but I'm going to give it a chance. I always give writers the benefit of the doubt, and I check their stuff out, so I'll still check her stuff out. But it's going to be hard to top this amazing run that Pure J. Tomasi did. Yes, I think that the beginning of his run was much stronger than his end, but I still like this final issue. But yeah, guys, you can tell me your thoughts on this issue down below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate from 1 to 10? And guys, if you like the video, give a big thumbs up. New to the channel, make sure to subscribe and the notification bell so you don't miss out my next Detective Comics review. We'll see what Mariko Tamaki does and if she starts our run on good notes. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.